One last thing, Ron, and I'll let you go, and I want to play Fight Like a Band for everybody. You know, you mentioned Steeler. You mentioned that Mitch Perry, who's a great guitar player as well, came in after Yngwie had left the band. Over the decades since, and that first Steeler record was the world's introduction to Yngwie Malmsteen. I'm sure Mike Arnie had a lot to do with that at that time, but so much has been said about Yngwie Malmsteen over the decades since the world first heard him on the first Steeler record. The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever people say about Yngwie, it's all over the place. What do you remember about him at that earliest age? He was like 17, 18 years old or something, him being plugged into your band, having this kid from another country come in and literally just, you know, the world started talking about him because of that record. But what were your experiences like? Did you even at that earliest period see a guy that was going to just go off on his own and maybe rub some people the wrong way? Did you sense a brashness about him at that time? What were your recollections of Yngwie in his earliest days coming to America in your band?
Well, we were both kids, man. He was 18. I was the old man at 21. So we were both kids. Neither one of us knew how to relate to each other because he had been in his basement in Sweden perfecting his amazing craft, and I'd been in Hollywood screaming my guts out and partying and chasing girls. And then I equate it to David Lee Roth and Edward Van Halen. Edward is a brilliant musician, one of the best of all time. David is a rock star and a frontman, one of the best of all time. Now, they found a way to make it work. I wish Yngwie and I could have found a way to make it work because he could have been my Edward. I could have been his David. At the time, I fault myself for it because I was young and my leadership skills weren't properly honed at that time. Plus, he walked into a band that was selling out multiple shows, multiple nights in every gig in Hollywood. I had built this thing from scratch and clawed our way up the Hollywood totem pole to where Metallica and Rat were opening for us.
Who did he replace? That's an interesting thing because I being an East Coast guy, I didn't know the lineage or the history of Steeler before that first record, but you were going for a while. Yngwie came in, cut the solos on that record, but who was there before him in Steeler?
The guitar player before that, and I'm really glad you brought this up, was Michael Donegan. He was we were together in Nashville, and we moved the entire band, Steeler, from Nashville to Hollywood in 1981, and we were the outcasts. We were the hicks from Nashville that nobody wanted to book. We had to really fight our way to the top, tooth and nail, no pun intended. And at that point, at some point, I realized that I needed something different. I needed, because you got George Lynch, you got Jakey Lee, you got these players in Hollywood at the time that were just amazing. The talent level of those bands in 1981, 82 in Hollywood was off the charts. I wanted somebody like that. I wanted the best guitar player in the world. So I got Yngwie. I fired Michael and I parted ways, and I went to Mike Arnie, and we sat there at his apartment. Yeah, Mike had an apartment at the time in Novato, California, and a wall of cassettes, and he'd pull one off the wall and he'd play it, and it was amazing shredding, but they all sounded the same. He pulled an Yngwie cassette off the shelf, played it for me, and I go, that's the best guitar player in the world. Let's call this guy. So we called him. Literally, Varney and I on the speakerphone calling Yngwie in Stockholm, and he was 18 years old, and I wanted to bring him to America to be a part of Steeler. And that album still, I developed a new love for that record because I hadn't listened to it in a long time until obviously we've got to sing those songs and play those tunes live last week at Keel Fest. So I've got to put that record on in the headphones and scream my guts out and sing along with that stuff. I developed a renewed love for what we did in '83 on that Steeler album, and but I have buried the hatchet with the original guitar player Michael Donegan, and we're releasing this summer on F&A Records a compilation called Come Hell or Hollywood, which is all the pre-Yngwie demos, home recordings, the stuff we did in Nashville, a lost version of Cold Day in Hell that nobody's ever heard, and some really cool stuff. It's raw. It's sometimes it's young guys trying to learn their craft, but it's a very special moment in time and in history when Steeler really conquered that L.A. Hollywood metal scene. Yngwie walked into that. When Yngwie walked on stage with us, he was playing to sold-out venues, opening for major acts at the Roxy and the Country Club, and I felt that I'd built this thing. It's my baby. You should be happy to be here. I probably didn't handle the situation properly, and Yngwie probably didn't handle the situation properly. I'm proud of what we accomplished. I'm proud of what he's accomplished. I wish we could bury the hatchet. He would not return my phone calls or and I would do a song with him right now and donate the proceeds to charity just to kind of come full circle. I think that would be cool, but he won't do that. He won't acknowledge that time in our history, and that's his business. My business is to look forward and move on with the Ron Keel Band and whatever's left of my career. I am given new inspiration by cats like Halford and Sammy Hagar and some of these guys that are really still kicking ass. Eddie, you see Steven Tyler.
Oh, 71 years old. Sammy, I just saw the other day, soon to be 72, just made a great new record. There are those freaks. Glenn Hughes. I mean, it's crazy. These guys, late 60s, early 70s, just still singing, still so good. But you're right. I
want to be one of those guys.
Well, you sound like you're on your way.
I want to be on Trunk Nation. I want to be on Trunk Nation in 10 years.
Hopefully I'm still doing this for 10 years. It's been like 36, 37 years for me, man.
I know, man.
Hopefully I'm still standing, for God willing. But, yeah, it is inspirational. I said that to Sammy. I was with him last week, and I said to him, it's inspirational seeing a guy your age still working so hard, still sounding so good, still putting so much into what you do, still caring so much. And to see, hell, Mick Jagger just had a heart procedure. He's back dancing already. He's like 75. It's insane.
I know, man. It does give inspiration to me because I'm still healthy. I'm young. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still the same guy I was when I was 17. I'm extremely healthy, and I'm fit. I'm in shape. I'm still delivering what I feel is a quality product and good work on stage and in the studio. So sky's the limit, man. And part of what drives me on is that desire to succeed. I'm not just here to tread water. And nobody can tell me that I'm not going to make it. I'm the same kid I was when I was 16. You're never going to make it. You're never going to be anything in this business. And for some reason, thank God, that fire has never gone out, man. I still believe the best is yet to come.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it's great to hear somebody like you after all these years in this business. And let's be honest, we've all been knocked around in this business for many decades. And to still have that sort of fire and energy and ability and passion as you do, that's a really, really great thing. I wish you nothing but the best. The new album, Ron Keel Band, Fight Like a Band. Most importantly, continued good health to your wife, Ron, and best wishes for her for a complete recovery here. That's the important stuff, and we'll keep an eye on everything going on and keep the music out there for you, keep the dates going, and we'll let you go and play Fight Like a Band for people to check out some new stuff from you.
Thank you so much. This is a very special song for me, and it's great to be back on the show. If I don't see you before, I'll see you on the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Hopefully we'll see you before, because that's still a ways down the line, but if not, certainly on the cruise. And you take care, man. I'll see you soon, okay?
All right, buddy. You too. Thank you, Eddie.
You got it. There he goes, everybody. Ron Keel. Ron Keel Band is the record, and again, it is out on a label owned by David Ellefson of Megadeth, EMP Records, and this is the title track, Fight Like a Band. New music from the Ron Keel